Willie D, start us out.
It's that time again, folks.
Oh.
You hear those sounds. You hear that campfire. It's time for RV camping with Wade's RV.
Woo!
That was my first intro right there.
That was strong, man. Coming in with a boom, boom, boom.
So this topic today is going to be about RV tires.
Ooh.
RV tires, truck tires, tires on your motorhome. Everything about tires that you would need to know, we are going to talk about today. And this is a very important topic that I'm very passionate about, being, I would say I've earned the title of the head delivery driver here at Wade's RV.
I would say so.
So I drive a lot of these RVs, and proud to say I don't have a lot of blowouts. So I wanted to...
Yeah.
I am knocking on wood very strongly. I wanted to talk to the people about some things that I've encountered out there, maybe answer some questions that you have. I know you did a lot of deliveries as well, and just talk about tires in general, what to expect, what to look for, how to buy, how to load.
Yes.
All of these different questions. So we're going to be going over that today.
So sometimes, you know, when you look at your tires, it has their own rating. Information on the side of the tire. And then you go look on your RV and then you look at the rating on the tires that they put on the side, and it's a little conflicting.
Yes. Yeah. So whenever you're looking at those weights that the tires are rated for, you're going to want to make sure that you match up what you're putting in your camper with what those tires can hold.
Yeah.
So whenever you're looking at a camper right out of the box, typically your cargo carrying capacity is going to be right around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So if you start overloading that, then the equipment in the camper, the axles, that's what holds the weight.
Yep.
The tires, that's what holds the weight, actually is going down the road, bouncing. That is going to cause an effect on those tires. So you want to make sure not only do you have the right amount of weight in your camper, you're not going to want to overload it if you don't have the right tires, but you're also going to want to make sure that it's distributed evenly. So if you're going down the road and you have all your pots, pans, every piece of your equipment that you're bringing on the right side of your camper, it's probably going to pull a little bit to the right. You're probably going to have a little bit more, for one, wear and tear on that right side, but you're also going to be putting, like I said, all the cargo, you're going to be putting all of that weight on that one side. And let me tell you, you're probably asking for failure. And so that is definitely one thing that you want to look out for, is making sure that your tires, what you're putting in that camper, and the camper itself are all matching up.
Now, I don't want to get sidetracked on a different topic, but if you're loading your equipment to one side, it's not just going to affect your tires, it's going to affect everything else, from your frame, to your axles, to your shocks, to everything. So
to your truck whenever it's pulling, because it's just going to be pulling to that one side. It's going to mess up your alignment.
But we're talking about tires today. So, there's a lot of information on your RV that will also help you when it comes to knowing about your tire pressure and stuff. And that's going to mostly be the tires that come with the unit from the factory.
Correct.
So just always know that you really want to, and I was talking to a lot of guys in the shop, they said, really, when it comes to weights and stuff like that and tire pressure, you really want to stick with what your tires say. So stick with the information that's on the side of your tire. Now, not every RV does this, but some, they have like a lug pattern, and they'll say, hey, this is the best way. If you change out your tires, you have a flat on the side of the road, this is the way you need to tighten your lugs, and this is what you need to stick by, so it's that it's
and the torquing
back on there. Yeah,
so you're not going to over torque it and basically stretch that nut. And if you're stretching it, those threads aren't going to be as tight, so it's not going to hold that lug nut on. And once again, failure. That's what we want to avoid when we're out there on the road, is we want to avoid failure, and we want to get to our campsite. So if you're preventative on a lot of steps, I'm not going to say you're 100% always going to be safe, because guess what? Freak accidents happen. But if you do a lot of preventative stuff, and also, like you said, check those pressures, check those weights, you're going to be setting yourself up on a much better journey whenever you're getting out there on the road itself. And like you said, check those actual tires, because when it comes from the factory, it's coming with what the factory recommended for that factory brand tire. Let's say you have a guy like me that likes to upgrade stuff. You go get those bigger Michelins. Well, they're probably going to have a different rating for the PSI and also the weights and all of those different things. So especially if you're looking at something used, definitely look at that tire, look what it's rated for, and look at those PSIs. And I always recommend, I know it's a little bit of a task, but check your tires before you leave.
So that's a must.
I don't necessarily check every time I stop. I know there's a lot of people that do that. They go around, they stop for gas, stop to use the restroom. They're going to check all their tire pressures again. I'm not necessarily that kind of guy. I think it is a good step and it can prevent failure. But before you leave your driveway, definitely take a look at those. I personally bring a little air tank with me, and it's not one that you plug in and airs up. It actually is a hard air tank, and it's got a little gun on there. So if I do have some low pressure, I can just walk on by, put it right on there and air up, because if you're on the road, air isn't that easy to find. No. I have found out it is not that easy to find. And if you do find it, good luck with that machine working at the gas station, because that's the other thing is you got to find one, and then hopefully they've worked on it. Which
the crackhead, the local crackhead, didn't stop by and steal the apparatus from the top of it.
Or the brass fitting. I mean,
dear crackhead, please stop doing that.
That has not been good. But the other good thing is when you're on the road, you meet a lot of RVers. I was actually out there and I had a tire that was low, picking up a delivery unit, and of course they hadn't moved it in 6 years, and man, the tires look good until you moved them. And so I was out there trying to get some pressure at this local gas station, and actually the maintenance guy at the local high school came by and he said, hey boy, you need some air? And yeah, how much are you going to charge? He said, nothing at all. And so I pulled back behind the high school, and he aired up all the tires, and he said, I've been there. I literally, because he lives locally, he knows that air pump doesn't work, but he said, I've been there on the side of the road. I understand it. And he has an RV. So, within minutes he was over there and helping me out. So that's a great thing. If you do have an RV, you got friends out there on the road that can help out a little bit too.
So we kind of touched on the importance of pretty much tire care and your tires, and the role that your tires play with carrying the load. Really, it's the first point of contact with the ground. What about name brands? Do you like one name brand over the other?
So once again, this is my personal opinion. So whenever it comes to name brands versus off brands, the main thing I've found is going to be the tire warranty itself.
Okay.
So whenever it comes to tire failures, let's say shoes like you like Nike or you like Adidas, guess what? They're both tennis shoes at the end of the day. It's more so you like the styling of this one or the styling of that one, the tread pattern of this or the tread pattern of that. Me personally, I like to save money. So a lot of times I do buy a cheaper tire, maybe not necessarily like the top tier one that's a little bit lower, but I definitely look at the warranty, because if it's warranted for 50, 60,000 miles, you're going to know that it's going to last longer for one going down the road. If you put 50,000 miles on your travel trailer or fifth wheel, come shake my hand, because you need a badge of honor. You're probably not going to put that many miles on there, but it's kind of rated to hold up a little bit more. If you go with a total knockoff brand tire, usually you're not going to get any warranty at all. So you're kind of at a risk, and tires aren't cheap. So if you got a $200 tire with no warranty, or you have a $220 tire with a 40 or 50,000 mile warranty, name brand or not, you're going to have a little bit more protection, where if you do have a problem out there on the road, you're not going to be left high and dry. You're going to be able to get a replacement. So I look at more so the warranties on there, because, you want to protect your investment, your RV, and also the tire that you're buying. Because if you blow out on your RV, sometimes you do have damage in the fender wells and things. So I more so look at the warranties and the cost, because that's what it all comes down to, is dollars and cents.
I like that perspective. It's something that you should really consider when you're comparing like your cost and stuff like that. I would like some sort of warranty myself. So great. Great way to kind of think through the cost and justify that. So my dad, let's talk about storage and the age of your tires, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when your RV is sitting for a long period of time, let's say it's sitting on concrete or some sort of...
I've heard this story a time or two.
Oh, yeah. And so I didn't really...
Yeah, man, those tires, they look real good.
Yeah.
They're real good. Got real good...
Under Armour on
real
there.
Good tread on there, Wade. Real good tread, but they've been sitting underneath the oak tree for about 12 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Really, yeah. And I didn't know this, but the concrete and stuff like that will actually soak the oil out of the tires. And so I guess the way tires are made and stuff, they're made to be moving. And so like when you move them and you drive them and it's on the concrete or the asphalt, it heats up, and the oil, it like distributes around the tire evenly. And that's what kind of keeps the life of your tire.
Keeps it in shape.
For
Literally.
so long.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when it's just sitting there all the time, not moving or whatever, that oil, it all kind of settles. And then you lose a little bit, kind of, it's hot. Then it gets cold, and then kind of a little bit of air seeps out of there, and
It's going to conform
hot
to
and
the shape of
cold.
the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get flat, and then it's going to kind of morph itself to the ground that it's sitting on.
You might get a bubble in it. You might get a flat spot. You might get some cracks even on the inside where you can't see the cracks.
And then when it gets hot again, what are you dealing with? Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Because that rubber, it just doesn't have the life in it. It wasn't taken care of the proper way.
Yeah.
And so then when people do have blowouts, what are the first thing they do, as most humans do? We want to blame someone else.
Oh, yeah.
It was the tire manufacturer, those China bombs. Well, most of them are made in China anyway. So not really a relevant source. How did you store it?
Yeah.
How old are your tires? How loaded is your trailer? Whenever you look at these questions, a lot of times you can find why you're actually having these failures, but unfortunately, sometimes it's too late. And that's what we're trying to help you with today is
we're here to
give you a couple
educate
tips
you
and
on
trips.
that. Yeah. So make sure that you treat your tires make sure your tires are high priority on the list of maintenance, preventative maintenance, making sure you understand what we're talking about when it comes to the PSI, the maintenance, making sure that your tires are not just sitting there getting flat spots on them, because that's not fun.
Unless you like sitting on the side of the road,
I guess,
waiting on AAA. I mean, and if that's your idea of fun, go for it.
Yeah.
But this is going to help you get to your campsite, get to where you're going, and get camping faster.
Yes, sir. So, what about the age?
So the age, we were cracking the joke about 12 years old. Someone might be like, well, I mean, I thought they were good at 12 years old. The recommended age for tires is approximately 6 years. And so there's a date code on all these tires that you're looking at. You're going to be looking for a 4-digit code. And so it's going to be, let's use an example of 0323. So what that's going to mean is that it was built and manufactured the third week of the 23rd year. And so that's how you can understand how old your tires are. Just really quick, you can look at that. I usually don't pay attention much to the month. It's not going to matter that much. But the actual year, that's how I look at them and see if I need to start praying or if I just, I'm not going to have to worry too much as I'm going down the road.
Perfect. And I don't know what you mean by loading.
I was talking about distributing the way, which we touched on a little bit earlier. The main thing is, where do you buy tires? Where do you go? Who's going to mount them? Who's going to balance them?
Oh,
who's
I know
gonna take care of
this.
them?
Wade's RV?
You got it. Your one-stop shop for everything RV. We can get you taken care of. And if you are looking for a specific tire, give us a call because Tyson will track it down. And most RV dealerships don't have this, but we actually have a tire machine in the shop. So there's one place I go to get my tires fixed. It's Wade's RV.
Oh, yeah. That's where I would go, too. So, we don't source that out. We do everything here. We have the machines and whatnot.
We don't build the tires.
We do not.
Order the tires, but we can put them on for you.
And we'll make sure that when we install the tire, it's the proper PSIs in there. We'll make sure the tire's in good working condition. We'll check and make sure there's no bubbles or anything like that. So,
We'll get you taken care of. So if you guys need anything like that, make sure to give us a call. And if you're looking for a new or used RV, come on out and see us. We will get you taken care of only at Wade's RV, and tune in every Friday at 10 a.m.
I'm going to let you close out, Willie D, since you opened it.
All right. Are you ready, folks? Listen for those sounds. Get ready. Hello, Adam. Hello, Stephanie. Welcome to the podcast. Or goodbye.